Rumors in Formula 1 don't stop, especially for the front teams. Tales never come just like that. Behind every rumor, there must be a real story behind. After receiving a big penalty from the FIA for breaching cost cap, Red Bull is required to pay $7 million fine and forfeit 10% of its aerodynamic, being the only team to breach $145 million budget cap by $1.8 million. This week, there have been a lot of talking about the relationship between Red Bull and Honda engine, focusing on the engine freeze affair, suspecting a possible second cheating case for Red Bull. Rumors are actually talking about the Formula 1 champion Honda cheating on the FIA manager to get the engine freeze just in time. Could this actually be possible? If this turned to be true, what will Red Bull face as a penalty for this scum? Whenever the ongoing Red Bull and Honda engine collaboration or possible 2026 collaboration project become a subject to discuss in Formula 1, some rumors come on surface, supposing that Honda never really attended to leave Formula 1 and never actually did, and contending that Red Bull and Honda have cheated on system and the whole Formula 1 community by getting an engine freeze agreed without real pretenses. To understand the situation, we need to go back in 2020 when Honda announced they will be quitting Formula 1 officially at the end of the 2021 season. The F1 project had come at enormous expense at the time. There were just few wins to show for it, and Honda needed to redirect its financial and technical resources into carbon-neutral projects because the company had fallen behind its automotive rivals. So just after Honda's official decision, Formula 1 analysts predicted that a deal was established for the two Red Bull-owned teams to be able to continue using Honda's engine from 2022 to the end of the 2025. The deal was about Honda developing its 2021 engine to be compatible with a small fuel change for the 2022, then operate as a contractor in 2022, assembling and assuring maintenance of the engine. Then Red Bull Powertrain, a Red Bull new company, would take the lead for the 2023 before being expanded and tasked with building an in-house engine in 2026. However, the team's engineers and technical staff knew this new company won't be able to build alone an engine for 2022. Analyzing the team's situation, Red Bull managers saw an engine freeze coming next season, especially with the new rules coming through, so they pushed for it to be brought forward in order to have that engine specification frozen and no performance updates would be allowed after the end of the 2021 season. For new Formula 1 fans wondering what freezing an engine is and how does it affect teams, keep on watching, let's dive in. Freeze means a complete block on engine development by the four current Formula 1 power unit manufacturers: Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, and Honda, recently rebranded as Red Bull Powertrains. Each powertrain has a specification that need to be lodged with the FIA. This is what you hear talking about in Formula 1 reports as homologation, which means verification of a produced component to find out if it's legal and can be replicated in manufacturing to be used in races but cannot be modified or changed. The freeze will be starting this season and runs through the 2023 till the 2025 seasons before the new rules comes in 2026. As explained by the FIA's Formula 1 sporting regulations, the only power unit that might be used at an event during 22-25 championship season is a power unit which constituted only of elements that were in conformity at the date they were introduced in the race book with the latest submitted and approved homologation dossier as defined in Appendix 4 of the technical regulation. In case a manufacturer has a specific reliability issue, it has to follow a very long process to be allowed to modify the part with the permission of the FIA. Back to the Red Bull and Honda affair, with Red Bull avoided to fall in a very complicated situation where they will be obliged to find another manufacturer to supply AlphaTauri on Red Bull Racings with the engines, which was Renault the candidate. After several months of debate, at the end of the 2020 and into the start of the 2021, Formula 1 agreed to introduce the first engine freeze of the V6 turbo hybrid era in 2022. Red Bull suggested that some part only had to be homologated in March 2022 or even in early autumn. In this case, Honda would still leave, but Red Bull would be able to keep using an engine that took a big step in 2021 and knew that rivals wouldn't benefit from an extra year of development that Red Bull couldn't match. This might look normal to you, but an old Formula 1 fan would have some suspensions about it. Formula 1 analysts interpreted this as an underhand approach from Red Bull, using the technical poverty with the Honda leaving, and Red Bull simply had to have an early engine freeze. Going further to predict that Honda could come back in 2026, which means a new Red Bull-Honda collaboration is also very possible. This made reports talk about a theory saying that Honda never actually intended to quit and Red Bull never really intended to work with Red Bull Powertrains alone, and the whole scenario might be made previously by the two companies in a way to help them both. If it is real, feel this would be a huge scandal for the Formula 1 champion and the second one after the cost cap breach. What is your opinion about this, guys? Do you think this is a real or it might be an agenda against Red Bull? Max Verstappen, the 2-time world champion, previously commented on the cost cap breach consequences. He believed this penalty will hurt his team. In a recent interview with the German publication Automotor, the 2022 Formula 1 world champion expressed his concern, but at the same time, his deep confidence in his team managers and car too. It's going to hurt us, but I'm confident that my team will get it right and we will have a good start. We know where to start and what to work on. If we were at a loss as to which direction to go in, it would be an even bigger problem. We will find out over the year how much we actually suffered. Our car was competitive. If we keep the momentum going, it should be fine. Verstappen's 2022 season was a record-breaking one. The Dutchman was able to claim 15 victories, being the first driver to mark the highest number of wins for a single season. Though, he still finds it hard to predict the next season, especially with the car's development process still going on. The cars are still in a way. There's still a lot of development potential in them. That depends on many factors. Ask about the next season's main rival to Red Bull as a title holder, Verstappen finds it early and difficult to judge, and talk about Ferrari and their preparation for the coming year. Kind of excluding Mercedes as a possible rival for his team, maybe look into the technical state of their car at the end of the last year's season. With Ferrari, it's hard to say how much more they have developed this year. The engines, what it is still happening there. That's why it's hard for me to name the main rival. The 2022 world champion find having a single dominant car is the best option when asked if he prefers facing challenging rivals or domination. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. In certain situations, I wish for it, but sometimes it's just nice to have a dominant car. In general, I hope that the field will get closer together. But Formula 1 fans won't definitely go for that option, especially Mercedes fans who are waiting for a strong season. Drop your opinion in the comment section below. We will be reading all your comments. Subscribe for more Formula 1 content. That was all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.